to NUJ Story, Akwa Ibom State Council.
The power of the pen.
Long before the lights, the headlines, and the hashtags, there was the pen. The quiet instrument that amplifies the voice of a people, chronicles their concerns, and holds power accountable.
In Akwa Ibom State, that voice found form 37 years ago when a small band of visionaries gathered to build not just a union, but a legacy. A union that would guard truth, defend justice, and nurture the conscience of society.
From humble newsrooms to digital studios, from typewriters to touchscreens, the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Akwa Ibom State Council, has stood firm through seasons of change, telling our story with courage, clarity, and conviction.
This is the story of the men and women who write history as it happens. This is the story of the pen in Akwa Ibom. This is 37 years of the NUJ, Akwa Ibom State Council.
Again, the NUJ has been able to galvanize the positive interest of governments and other unions, so that it is being seen as a very potent union. There are some other unions that are more than us. A time was when if we go to May Day, sometimes we'll march about 15, 20, but NUJ will still be recognized because people fear, or maybe love to fear us or fear to love us, as the case may be. But now I think we are more friendly. People are more friendly with us these days. They are now seeing us as a union they can work with in order to achieve what they want from government. They see us as a union that can walk into government office, even when it may not be so. But they feel that we can walk into the governor's office and tell the governor, His Excellency, this is what we want. This is what is supposed to be done to this. So they run to us.
I met an NUJ that was excellently professional, abundantly rich in human resources, an NUJ that is very strong independently, an NUJ that is very strong in terms of welfare for her members, and an NUJ that is conscious of the fact that this is a professional body, an NUJ that is not given to sycophancy, an NUJ that is very reliable, and an NUJ that you can trust. I inherited an NUJ where members are very independent-minded and very blessed in terms of discerning whatever information that you have, and an NUJ that is always outspoken and very much available to be ready for any task that is presented before them. I inherited an NUJ where members are always ready to be their brother's keeper, where the concern of one member becomes the concern of every other person. An NUJ that is fearless, an NUJ that is daring, an NUJ that is abundantly rich in every sense of the word.
It has been a place for us to really practice, showcase the talents and the gifts, the different ideas we have, putting them right for us. And the environment, the ground, has been a good ground for us to express ourselves rightly and also be able to practice journalism the way it should be. With the leadership that we have with us, it has made journalism easy for us to practice, well-defined.
Origins and journey of the union.
Every story has a beginning, and ours began with a determination to be heard.
In 1987, when Akwa Ibom was created as a distinct state, there was that need for us to have our own council in Akwa Ibom State. And by the grace of God, I was opportune to be appointed as the first and pioneer chairman of NUJ. So there was need for journalists to come together under the State Council, and I was the one that headed it, in pioneering it into fruition that it is today.
In the early days of journalism practice in Akwa Ibom State, access was power and the recognition was rare. Young reporters eager to serve the truth often found closed doors where they expected open stories.
Among them was a young journalist, Comrade Comfort Umana. She had the drive, the pen, the purpose, but lacked one thing: an identity.
Each time she arrived to cover government events, she was turned away. No ID, no entry. Yet her spirit refused to retreat.
So she decided to do something no one else had done before. She called for the creation of a union, a body that would give journalists identity, unity, and voice.
Now, we have CRT, a chapel that was shortly before the creation of state in 1987. Politically, in the NUJ, we needed to have the Mainland Council. And I took it upon myself to move around. And out of the people that started the council, only one person is no more, and that's Michael Dawson. With Godwin Okon, who was Cross River Radio reporter, Charles Sebon, Chronicle reporter, Michael Dawson, Minister of Information Chapel Uyo, Inimfon Udo, Information Officer Abak, by then Ika, Ruanam, Kanafon were all in Abak. That's why you have Abak 5 now. So I came to his office here in Abak from Uyo. Our office was at Barracks Road End, the exact office that the Commissioner of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs is seated, is where I sat. And I went back to Calabar after talking to these people. Let us form a union. I can't forget. That day I bought cabin biscuit and granite, 50 naira. And in my office, we sat and shared the cabin biscuit. Then I went back to Okonosom, said, Oga, we are ready. Before we could do this, state was created. Before we could complete that, Akwa Ibom State was created. And one of the things I love, and I remember with pride, is the day I covered when we moved from Calabar back to Akwa Ibom State. I had the beatings of my life, and that taught me a new dressing code. That's how I started wearing trousers. Because that day, my skirt, because I was thrown like a piece of paper, my skirt torn into two, but that's what I wore from morning till the banquet, covering that assignment. I went back to Okonosom. He came and inaugurated us caretaker committee. So if it is now that respect is not given to people, Inimfon wouldn't have been the first chairman, but Inimfon was the most respected information officer in the mainland part of then Cross River State and in Akwa Ibom State. Why? When he speaks, you know that he went to school. For an information officer to be given the permission to moderate state events, then you must have been an information officer of great repute.
That bold act in pursuit of legitimacy would spark a movement. And from that moment, the Nigeria Union of Journalists in Akwa Ibom State was born.
From one woman's frustration grew a family of truth tellers, an institution that stood for 37 years, protecting the rights, ethics, and dignity of the Fourth Estate.
No election. No election again. How many were we? We shared the office amongst ourselves based on the respect we gave to everybody. Then, Ekaite became the first chairman of NUJ in Akwa Ibom State. I've never been a chairman, but the history of NUJ and NUJ cannot be told in Akwa Ibom State without the person who called the first meeting.
and mention the word NUJ. And now watch.
Comrade Comfort Umana's story reminds us journalism thrives not only on information but on courage.
Growth and maturity of the union.
From its humble origins, the Nigeria Union of Journalists in Akwa Ibom began to grow, not just in number but in influence.
By reporting the truth and the problems Akwa Ibom State had in taking off, which the federal government somehow came in to help the state take off as a young state. I'm very proud of the past administrations of NUJ in Akwa Ibom State. In fact, I would say starting from Patrick Abbott to Amos, and the present one. Because they have been able to elevate the union from what never happened to what is now very feasible in the state. Look at the NUJ press center now. It matches any press center in the country, if it has not surpassed so many of them. It's a very beautiful place, and the union in Akwa Ibom is well organized based on the footmarks we left behind. So we are proud of them.
One day, during one of the congresses, I sat, and a picture of this clubhouse was shown to me. The entire environment was shown to me, and I declared, even when we did not discuss it as SWC or SEC, I said, gentlemen, within the next 3 months, we are going to have a clubhouse so that we will be having after Congress or any time we will have. And it came to be within 3 months, even the entire fencing, we were able to achieve this.
We have improved professionally. A greater number of us, if not all, are at least professionally qualified as per what is required constitutionally. So we have done that, unlike before, where more than 50% of those who were practicing were not qualified.
Human capacity, we've got a lot of our colleagues having recognitions for their investigative reports nationally, even internationally. At the level of press freedom, we're able to have a striking balance in terms of respect for each other's office between the state actors and non-state actors. We built a lot of goodwill around the state in making the union great in what it is today.
Besides giving us the opportunity to come together, the trainings and every other aspect, I mean, it's a beautiful place to belong.
The early struggles gave way to structure. The meetings under trees became congresses in halls.
There were many. One, we had no accommodation, we had no office.
The voices that once whispered became voices that shaped headlines and held power accountable.
Over the years, successive chairmen and executives built on that foundation, each adding strength, vision, and purpose.
Whereas as a pioneer and pace setter, we were set to organize journalists into a body. And there was only just one chapter of NUJ in Akwa Ibom State that was operating under the booster station of Crossriver Radio in New York. There was no other chapel. But as we came in, we saw to it that many other chapels were established, like the Information Chapel, like the Pioneer newspaper came on stream. We had that Correspondence Chapel came on like that. So that was the priority, to organize journalists in a new state.
The union found its rhythm, training young reporters, defending press freedom, and defining ethical standards that would set Akwa Ibom apart in the Nigeria media landscape.
As the state grew in peace and development, the NUJ grew in maturity, becoming not just a watchdog, but a bridge between government and the governed.
They felt the union also felt their impact, the government felt us, and we also started feeling the impact of government.
I came in as a 12th chairman of the union. I call myself the 12th disciple. So I came in to inherit what the legacies of my predecessors had done. And in doing that, I needed to also create a new conversation, a new perception of what the practice should be, of what we could achieve, we hit the ground running because we knew that we had a time that at the end of the day, our tenure will come to an end, so that our colleagues will be the ones to tell us, you've done well. This is where we could do better. And I believe that the 13th chairman, or say the 13th disciple, my brother and my leader now, Comrade John, has taken that mandate, that mantle also of leadership of where he has started from. In the last few months since he started, he has done very well. I am very proud of him. And I can say that the union is in very safe and good hands.
Through seasons of political change, the union stood firm, guided by the simple truth that journalism must serve the people, not the powerful.
It was in this steady rise that the NUJ Akwa Ibom Council found its true identity, a union committed to fairness, peace, and progress.
Inside government, the delicate balance.
In every democracy, there exists a delicate dance between power and the pen.
But there are instances where people have, maybe due to disagreements on certain policies of government, or just pure, and I'm using this word advisedly, pure mischief, or maybe motivated by the need to carry political proxy media war on behalf of certain entities, intentionally manufacture vile and morally objectionable stories just to embarrass government. And you'll see sometimes screaming headlines that on the surface, at the first encounter, when you look at it from afar, or they brought the paper for you and then you look at the captions, they are very sensational. And then you read through the body of the text, and it's all a celebration of stupidity and puerility in essence. And you ask yourself, the profession that shaped, furnished, distilled, and projected me would not allow that to pass. The culture of journalism that I practice, that I'm still practicing, will not let that to pass. The publisher, the editor, and all those involved would have said, no, we can't let that. That is going to put a dent on what we stand for. So there are instances of that, and I've always been saying, and I'm repeating myself, there is no need to carry political proxy media war, and in the process, publish severely unsanitized reportage about your state solely to demarcate the leadership or the state.
I came to inherit a legacy of what my predecessors had done. I came in as a 12th chairman of the union. I call myself the 12th disciple. So I came in to inherit what the legacies of my predecessors had done. And in doing that, I needed to also create a new conversation, a new perception of what the practice should be, of what we could achieve. We hit the ground running because we knew that we had a time that at the end of the day, our tenure will come to an end, so that our colleagues will be the ones to tell us, you've done well. This is where we could do better. And I believe that the 13th chairman, or say the 13th disciple, my brother and my leader now, Comrade John, has taken that mandate, that mantle also of leadership of where he has started from. In the last few months since he started, he has done very well. I am very proud of him. And I can say that the union is in very safe and good hands. And I believe that we are working collectively. He has the support of all of us, past chairmen and members of the unions, to drive us along the paths of stronger partnership and greatness for the union. Insights into what human capacity, like we all know today, that human capacity is beyond the talk shop. A lot is happening today. Technology has taken over journalism practice or the media practice. Let's look at new insights on how we can creatively become more dynamic in making this profession become the very best for us.
Government acts, journalists ask, the people listen.
In Akwa Ibom State, the relationship has evolved from cautious beginnings to a partnership built on mutual respect and shared responsibility.
There's got to be a fine line between reporting the facts and reporting, and we shouldn't even, I don't want to use the word fiction, because that is not part of what we journalists are supposed to do.
The government and the governed rely on the press for truth. The press, in return, depend on government for access, information, and accountability.
The Chief Press Secretary, the Commissioner for Information, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Umoino, the immediate past chairman of the union and the patron of the NUJ in the South-South, all embody this vital bridge, connecting the corridors of power to the pages of public discourse.
I think it's been wonderful. It's been robust. It's been engaging. And generally, I think the media space has been fantastic partners. Have we had moments of disagreement? Of course. As is expected, even in the home that you run, there will be some issues here and there. But like I said the other day when we had a press briefing, we've always, whenever we have some issues, we've always found common ground to resolve them.
You see, there was a time, and there are even places in this country where people are questioning, are querying the government and saying that the government is operating in what they call Egburibu. What that means is that the government is exclusive, is secluded from the people, and people don't have access to what is happening in government, they don't have access to government and what government is doing, and that there is no nexus between the government and its publics. But in Akwa Ibom State, what you're asking now shows that the government is indeed very accessible, and so many journalists have access to this government, and so many journalists are in the employ of this government, like that of Pastor Mo, who said from the beginning of his administration that he will do everything possible to ensure that there is transparency, accountability, and probity in his government. Then you shouldn't be surprised by what you're seeing now.
The relationship has been excellent. It has evolved very, very well over time. And I can say this with every sense of responsibility that I have seen it evolve very well. I've seen government relate very well with the media over time. Government has been very supportive of the media. Government worked very closely and intervened in helping the media through its structured unions in growing the relationships. So the journalism is having a field day in Akwa Ibom, is basking in some environment of conviviality, some environment of super relationship that is working for everyone. And that is what it is. We are in the government of Pastor Umoino. That is a government that tells the truth and tells you what it is. The government tells you it has done this, you go verify and it is the truth. The media will be in bed with the government because the truth is sacrosanct. The fact cannot be, you cannot burn the truth. You cannot burn the truth. So facts will remain sacred. Falsehood, and when you begin to dish out falsehood, that is propaganda. That's when you begin your fisticuffs with the media or the journalism practice. Or when the truth is the truth. Government says comes every quarter and unveils its budget, unveils its expenditures, unveils all of its balances and puts it out there. So it becomes difficult for you to begin to find unexisting faults because the truth has been laid bare.
As they collectively affirm, peace in Akwa Ibom is no coincidence. It is the result of intentional communication and responsible journalism. Through fair reportage, verified facts, and constructive criticism, the NUJ has nurtured an atmosphere where truth and governance coexist as partners in progress.
The press is not supposed to fight the government. We're supposed to be close to the government so they can point out certain defaults on the part of government to government. You don't need to fight. You have to move closer so you can be able to detect what the government is not doing right and inform them. Very constructive. They should continue to work as partners. Government should support journalists. There should not be any yellow journalism, what we used to call yellow journalism in those days. There's junk journalism of blackmailing government. If government does anything bad, point out to them constructively. Government, this is not what you promised to do. You have derailed. Do it this way. This is the way we feel we should do better.
If there are areas of improvement, sure, we welcome all those suggestions, but it shouldn't be born out of animosity, animus, and the motivation to the market instead. That's not a very good thing to do.
In our time, there wasn't much of that bickering between government or outsider and the union. Not that we compromised, but practitioners as at then knew their honors and they tried to keep it. The larger the group will be, the larger the problem.
Journalists are expected to write to influence the decisions of government. A good government should take journalists into confidence.
Across the decades, those who once held the mantle of leadership returned in these reflections, a story behind the headlines.
When I took over, we had an office in Wangiba, number 9 Wangiba, and it was just a small hall. And that's where we served and we used as secretariat. So our greatest challenge was having a press center, the biggest press center premises in Nigeria, and we acquired it. And that was the greatest achievement of that. But then beyond that, NUJ in my tenure was very, very popular. It was the most popular union.
The level of morality, the integrity in short of the union was at its low ebb. That's why I came with the campaign slogan, integrity. And interestingly, it wasn't only the union, even the then state government of Chief Gospel and Babio bought into that slogan. So everybody was talking of integrity, because wherever I went for a campaign, I would speak on my aim of coming to restore integrity to the union. People looked at journalists as press boys, and that was we wanted to change, and that's why we went in, so that journalists will not be looked on as press boys, but as people of integrity. That catapulted me to the first major thing I did was the revitalization of IIJ. Yeah, I revived it so that we could train, because journalists were seen as people of low education. Some were of high education, but not in terms of journalism practice. So we had to revive the IIJ and give members opportunity to come in to train. Well, we gave them a time limit, time frame to either train or be sent out of the practice. That led also to the formation of some chapters, especially the federated chapter, which was not there, where most of the members who practiced were outside the union and would still practice. So we had to bring them in by forming that chapter.
One of the most challenging things I faced then was that I came from the private sector. I think apart from the late Namso More, who was, I think he was the second chairman, I was the second person that came from the private sector. And those of us from the private sector had this training that government should be pushed aside, that you should not mingle so much with the government. And I came to work with almost everybody who was in the public sector. My secretary, my vice chairman, everybody, and 90% of the union, or maybe 50% of the union members were from the public sector. And so there was this policy dissonance, I may put it that way, where I had to blend in order to be able to achieve what those who were there expected of me. But at the same time, I was also working in a newspaper or coming from the sector that told me that you are not a government employee. So be careful what you do. So it kind of created a strong problem. We needed some balancing. Another problem I also had was that there were so many quacks in my time. I think I had the problem of, I was the only person that was able to screen whether the screening was successful or not, but it shows that there were so many quacks, so many people who were not qualified to be journalists then. So in the process of screening your member, screening somebody, you realize, you thought that this person was your colleague. But during the screening, when they say, Bempe Party, you realize that the persons you call your colleague was not actually qualified. And it created enmity and bad blood among even my colleagues. So it was a serious challenge. But with time, they got to realize that we were actually doing ourselves a good thing. And everybody tried to at least acquire the paper qualification in order to be professionally qualified.
The new generation, evolving voices, and the digital future.
Every generation inherits a story, but each must learn to tell it in its own voice.
From typewriters to touchscreens, journalism practice in Akwa Ibom has evolved, but its purpose remains the same: truth.
Today, a new generation has risen, bold, digital, creative. They live stream the news, tweet headlines, shoot documentaries, and tell the story in real time.
The NUJ, Akwa Ibom Council, under Comrade Nsibiet John, has embraced the evolution, monitoring young reporters, promoting digital training, and strengthening ethics.
This is the new face of the union, dynamic yet disciplined.
That is why this administration is very intentional about welfare. That is why this administration is very intentional about ensuring that we build and consolidate on the existing bridges of unity and collaboration that we have. And that is why we're also intentional to ensure that we provide additional infrastructure to the union for the benefit of our members.
In this moment of renewal, members of the Executive Council lend their voices to the conversation.
The union today: leadership, unity, and vision.
At 37, the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Akwa Ibom State Council, stands renewed, strengthened by purpose, united by vision, and guided by the steady leadership of Comrade Nsibiet John.
The current chairman is a true son of the rebel regime, in the sense that he's doing that part. He's doing that part of rebranding the union. Doing those things that needs to put the union on the spotlight.
Oftentimes you will hear me call him my mentor. He groomed me in the business, and along the line, he asked me to go for professional training. That was how I now went into study journalism. He signed as my referee, and then that's how I rose. My then editor-in-chief, Nsibiet John, asked the then transition chairman of Carafon, said, I could recall the way he put it, Chairman, why don't you engage this boy as your special assistant on media? He will do well. And he kind of answered, he said, but he's not from Carafon. He said, Che, you don't need somebody from Carafon to be your special assistant on media. Anybody can be.
He relates to people. He's very, someone you don't see angry. I've never seen him angry before. That is the truth. He has that way of building bridges and trying to unite people, and of course, showing love. And I think that is what has worked for him. I believe that if you genuinely love people that you're leading, then you'll be all out to make the best for them. And so I'm sure that NUJ under Comrade John, whose initials incidentally stand for NUJ, NUJ under John, is going to even attain more mileage as far as professionalism is concerned.
Comrade Nsibiet John started well, and he's a promising young chairman, and we trust that he will continue in the spirit he has started. He will remain committed to the ethos and ideals of the union, and especially the welfare of its members, which he has been championing in every forum that he finds opportunity. He's championing a way-in allowance, championing all sorts of things in the interest, which is fine. And we urge him to grow the union and leave it better than he found it. And we urge you all to support him, even as we will support him, so that together we will join hands and make the union a better place for all.
He's my younger brother. And I call him before he ran for the chairmanship. I call him the future. Even before he totally believed that he could win. And I know he knew he could win. But before he even internalized the notion that he could win, I started addressing him as the future. And that future is now, and he's living it very well so far. About 100 days into his chairmanship, the evidence are all there. That he may, I'm not saying this to ingratiate or to make his head look big, but it may be the most consequential, possibly, of all the past NUJ chairmen we've had. That's my honest opinion. And you know why? He listens. He's curious. He doesn't have a mindset that forecloses future learning processes. And when you don't see yourself as being a repository of wisdom, knowledge, and strength and power, you do well. So those are the values and virtues I've seen in him. And I think as time unfolds, his tenure expands, they will manifest magnificently.
He's a man of capacity and somebody I sincerely have a lot of respect for in his private media practice. So he will bring a whole lot of experience in leadership and enterprise into the NUJ.
Who? Comrade CBA John. He's really, I'm very proud of him. He's hardworking. He has the determination. I mean, he has the insight, knowing what to do at every time. You know, walking by him these few months, I listened to him talk, and it's like he's always having a prepared answer to every question. And I always ask myself, oh boy, how do you get all this? I mean, it's like you had the answer already. You knew what question they are going to ask you. And he hits the target. And everything he does, he has the answer ready. And every assignment he places his hand on, I mean, there's always glories in it. Everyone is always happy. Though it's not always easy doing it. Sometimes it's like looking at it is an impossible task. But in the midst of it, he will bring out water. He will bring out answer. And everyone at the end will rejoice.
He's a very pragmatic, very energetic leader.
This is one man who has exhibited that great character in leadership. He has what we've come to appreciate as that affable characteristics that's endearing to all journalists.
In barely 100 days, this administration has rekindled the heartbeat of the union, ushering in progress that is visible, measurable, and deeply reassuring.
We have restored some dilapidated, we've restored some initiatives. For instance, we had some concerns with our powering system. That has been restored. We also have some concerns with some structural modification that we have also added some energy to. And we've also gone into partnership for the love of Nigeria, and we have created for ourselves a football academy, standard size 5-a-side football ground for members of the union. That will also complement the 4th Estate School, because in NUJ here, the immediate past administration led by my brother, Comrade Mosetuk, instituted for us a 4th Estate Schools. And that football field will complement that. And then we decide to catch them young by ensuring that we have kids within the age of 4 to about 12, 13, 14 benefit from that. And that field will also help our veterans who are aged, who may not have the full-fledged energy to play in a larger field, also engage them there, and then build some level of exercise to them, because we know the importance of exercise to the body. We have also ensured that we consolidate on the structures we met on the ground, improve areas that we need to improve, and then by the grace of God, in 3 years' time, you see that what we inherited, we have improved upon them. And that's the essence of leadership. Leadership presupposes that you come in, advance on what you met on the ground, add some level of strength to the people that we are serving, and then allow them to understand that they can do whatever thing they want to do within the ambit of the law, protect their interests, carry them along in all the things you do. And of course, that also is what we promised our people when we went around campaigning and consulting, seeking their support, seeking their mandate. By the grace of God, I can say that in the past few months, we've been able to deliver on that.
The journey of renewal is written in its actions.
Honoring veterans of the profession, restoring dignity to those whose sacrifices shaped the union's path.
A leadership philosophy that blends the energy of the young and the wisdom of the elders, creating a true rebirth and balance within the council.
Skills acquisition programs empowering members for the evolving media landscape.
Initiatives that strengthen social harmony, fostering unity across chapels and platforms.
Capacity building and targeted professional development for members.
Deepened collaborations with institutions for training, partnerships, and mutual advancement.
Upgraded press center facilities, improving workspaces, and strengthening the union's operational backbone.
Reinforced welfare structures and ethical standards, ensuring that professionalism remains the soul of practice.
And at various fora, Comrade Nsibia John reaffirms that he is leveraging on the platform and foundation created and established by his forebears.
I want to thank you, my leaders, for the foundation you laid, and I want to assure you again that I'm not going to disappoint you. Within the ambit of the law, I want to build a NUJ that you all will be proud of, because you built an NUJ that we are presently proud of.
The 2025 Press Week stands as both a celebration and a reflection, a testament of the NUJ's integrity, vision, and commitment to the public service. It is not merely an event, it is a statement of purpose.
So the NUJ Press Week for the year 2025 is intended to ensure that we give our people the required knowledge that they deserve.
I'm very sure that at the end of the 2025 Press Week, journalism practice in Akwa Ibom State will take a new turn.
But one of the objectives of the 2025 NUJ Press Week is to build a platform where journalists can come together for a constructive discussion on how to move the journalism practice forward. And like the theme says, the turning point. This is meant to be a turning point for journalists for the next practice year.
Under Comrade Nsibia John's leadership, the NUJ is more than a union. It has become a community, a family of storytellers, builders, and custodians of truth. An idea of competence strengthened by unity and inspired by service.
The NUJ today is not just evolving.
The NUJ is a movement,
the legacy and the future.
From one woman's courage to a community of voices shaping society. This is the story of the NUJ, Akwa Ibom State Council.
37 years, I must say, let's congratulate ourselves. Not because we are 37. Every union that came to Akwa Ibom State when it was created is 37. So it depends on what pedestal are they standing to celebrate the 37 years. The evolution of NUJ can be said to be even more trajectory, or it's to be a trajectory compared to some other unions. We have moved from a small structure. I joined the union officially in 1997. That was when I was qualified to vote for the first time. Even though I was freelancing, going from Wangiba to this place, where we are renting a 2-bedroom apartment. So even physically, we have grown bigger. The membership has also grown bigger. We are maybe in the next 2 years, we hit 1 million or maybe 1,000 members, if we are not more than that. And these are qualified members of the union. So
joy today is that the union is living up to the dream. It's living up to the dream, and I expect each successive regime to be far better than the foundation that was laid. That is how we can have a very resounding union, a union that we are proud to call our own.
If you look at the caliber of people that have led the union over the years, these are dying wool professionals. So they've done well. They've injected quite a lot of professionalism in the practice of the profession. So NUJ at 37 has done well. Are there rooms for improvement? Obviously, as life demands and life dictates, there's got to be room for improvement. And that could come by way of constant training and retraining of journalists, especially on the element of being objective.
And at 37, we've come a long way. We've really come a long way. We've grown from the union of a few people back then, like she said, to a union of about 800 and something members. That's a great feat, and that's something to celebrate. So at 37, I think NUJ in Akwa Ibom has really come a long way. We've built people, we've built capacity. We've seen our members grow from, how should I even put it, ordinary members of the society to holding serious political offices in the state. And that, again, is something to celebrate. So at 37, I wish NUJ in Akwa Ibom a happy celebration. And I think it's a great milestone worth celebrating.
It's a long journey. Long journey, 1988 till date, from one leadership to the other, increasing every day, growing from strength to strength with different capacity, different lights springing forth. I mean, coming to look at the 13th chairman leadership administration that we are in, this is like, wow, the sky is just our limit. Every day new things are evolving. Every day we are seeing expansion. Expansion. So we know that 38 years will be a greater one indeed.
Thank God for preserving the union. Our forebears, they laid the foundation for what we have now. As a further state of the realm, the union has grown to a stage where we have a voice. And by God's grace, those professional tenets of the union and the expectations that we have from the people we have.
For 37 years, the union has been the conscience and chronicler of Akwa Ibom.
I think 37 is a ripe age. A ripe age that, you know, even when you are not told or you are not congratulated, you can congratulate yourself that we've gone of age. So all I'm wishing the union at 37, beginning from the national president, Comrade Hassan, the zonal VP, secretary, zonal leadership, and even the state council, is a good, sustainable, and spirit-filled, fair, objective, proactive journalism. I wish them success. I wish them long life. I wish them sustainable practice. I wish them sustainable environment to even practice. I wish them all that it takes, the media personnel to operate as far as journalism was concerned. I wish them success, and I'll continue to pray that as we work together as journalists, may we be able to find that enabling environment to plow.
37, NUJ in Akwa Ibom State has come a long way. There is no success that could have been achieved in Akwa Ibom State without the contribution of journalists, and no success will ever be achieved without our contribution and collaboration. I will urge every journalist in Akwa Ibom State to be patriotic, to show interest in what happens around him or her, and to ensure that his thoughts are in line with the ethics of the profession, and to always think well of himself, think well of the society, and respect the leadership that we have in the area. Happy 37th anniversary to all journalists in Akwa Ibom State. The successive leadership right from Ilim Fonudo, Lams Omorin, Eto Williams, Ikpong Esionogam, Innocent Okon, to when it came to my turn. I say congratulations and happy 37th anniversary.
And I wish you guys happy 37th anniversary. More power to your keyboards and more intellectual flourishes in your brains.
Union at 37, I want to say congratulations to you. Congratulations to all the leadership. Congratulations to the present leadership. I mean, it's a time for us to build more, to think more, and to do more, expand and have new ideas. It's a time for us to build our comrades, to ensure that we all defend one another and speak the truth as journalists and be honest about our reporting and ensure that whatever we are doing tomorrow is very near here with us. And I want to say happy celebration to everyone. To the Press Week, congratulations for this wonderful outing. Happy 37th anniversary to NUJ. Happy anniversary to every one of us. God bless us.
Happy Press Week 2025.
The ink has not dried. It flows through generations of journalists carrying the touch of truth.
No, media is money. But sometimes I feel the pains, and I advise my people, it's good to feel the pains before the gains. A journalist needs that comfort. A journalist needs that sustainability, need that funding, reasonable ease to operate.
As the state has also evolved from a backwater state to a destination of choice today in Nigeria, journalism practice too in Akwa Ibom has absolutely made some real professional leap for excellence.
I'm very proud of the way I see my colleagues practice journalism here. You have to be an intelligent person to be able to do journalism, to think. You'll be able to speak up for the people. You'll be able to interact with the high and mighty and not being afraid. So journalism, as I came in to see it, I came in 2011, teaching us how to write, how to speak, boldness. So journalism has built some boldness out of me to be able to handle my situation rightly.
That the NUJ has been a voice to the people in the society. We have been able to correct some anomalies, we have been able to draw the attention of government, we've been able to draw attention of NGOs, some companies. We've been able to highlight some of the things we feel should be corrected. And it has really helped to shape governments. And we've also been promoting some of the programs of government, because in NUJ, we are not attacking dogs all the time, but sometimes we criticize constructively.
As new chapters unfold, one truth remains: the best of the NUJ is yet to be written.
We still have issues with the perceptions of journalists, how each journalist sees himself or herself. I see pray that we should realize that we are very important.
For us to practice well, journalists must be trained, properly trained, constantly trained. That's one thing that we should do. I'm happy that the current executive, just like the immediate past, have taken that up. I would like to see a very beautiful press center in the next 5 years, well laid out premises with the guest house. That's what happens in most press centers now, with a very functional clubhouse, with a very functional school, with a very functional ICT center for journalists to keep updating themselves, to encourage journalists to go further in school. And that bothers us every time we have meetings. that journalists don't retire well. At the time you retire, you become a pauper. So you have to prepare to retire well by not wasting whatever money you can get on frivolities and preparing yourself, setting up businesses, and particularly going back to school.
We leave somebody to go to the field and bring a story just maybe because of his or her own ID card alone. There's bound to be some misconduct on his part, which is inimical to the practice of the union or of the profession. But again, the union seeing need to work on the by personality that we have. We are both professional and industrial union. That is one problem we have not been able to really solve. That means that we cannot go on strike, even though as a union, because we are industrial, but we are a professional body. Or we are union. I don't know which one we should use to go on. We cannot go on strike. So that while we are shouting for the benefit of others, nobody is shouting for our own benefits. We are canvassing that teachers should be paid well, doctors should be paid well. Nobody, even journalists themselves cannot say that we should be paid well. So that is the problem. We need to also put our house first in order. Journalists are one of the least paid set of people in Nigeria. I may say that 50% of journalists in Akwa Ibom State are not on salary, if not more. So it is a problem. You don't see that in some other unions. Even teachers that are in the private sector that are still members of NUJ, they are going home with something like salary. But some of us are not having anything like salary. So it's a problem. I think it's a thing that we need to work with. When Dora Akunyili was the Minister for Information, she came up with the generally salary scale. I think the least person was to earn 84,000 naira. As at then, this is more than 20 years ago. When this thing was mentioned, people almost fainted that even if we get that, it will be enough. But that thing did not fly. I think it's not yet too late to canvass for specific salary structure for media people, if not journalists, maybe media people, because the media industry is too big to be left in the hands of journalists alone. There are others who are working below the line and above the line to make the industry what it should be.
The message I want journalists to carry on with today is be in partnership with the government. Criticize the government when they need a right, but let it be constructive. Don't fight the government. You can never succeed in fighting government.
We really need to magnify our relevance, our essence, and for journalists too, to see themselves, not in the sense that they are being proud, no, to see themselves as vehicles of development, a very important vehicle of development.
Strategically, they have positioned themselves well, and very cohesively, the union has depth in unity. Now, they also have very responsible people with sense of dignity, self-dignity. So the issue of journalism in exchange or trade-off does not exist here. This is one big strength that has been institutionalized.
And in 3 years' time, the change I intend to bring is to ensure that we consolidate on what we met on ground, constantly remind our people that as a professional body, we must stay abundantly professional, constantly remind our people that the welfare of every member should continue to be on the front burner. And that is why this administration is very intentional about welfare. That is why this administration is very intentional about ensuring that we build and consolidate on the existing bridges of unity and collaboration that we have. And that is why we're also intentional to ensure that we provide additional infrastructure to the union for the benefit of our members. And also, we are also going to ensure that we are regular on a periodical publication. Some persons say that it is not the duty of NUJ to produce a magazine, but that's not correct. As an institute, as a professional body, there is a need for us to tell our stories. And that's also one of the things that we also would intend to do. We'll also encourage our members, we have also encouraged our members on the areas of diversification. It is often said in Ibibio that while you are doing journalism, we also have to do agriculture. We also have to go into some craft like cloth making, shoe making, cabinet making, and a whole lot of that. So we've encouraged our people on that area. We've also sponsored some and encouraged them. We're also seeing how to encourage our people to seek further training. Some of our people that have a first degree may wish to have more trainings, and so it's our responsibility to encourage them. So beyond infrastructure, beyond the collaboration, we've also added those layers of support for our members, and we are not tired of doing that. We'll continue to do that.
The next professional journalists are going to be need to be very smart people. Apart from that, they will be left behind. Some of us are almost left behind because we were taught how to plan pages with the dummy sheets and stuff like that. How to plan pages, how to, if you plan your page and the material finishes in your hand, you go back to look for a story to write, to come and cover it. I remember when I was the editor of Lead News in the Polytechnic Calabar, we used to go to Brotherhood Printing Press to print the paper. So if you plan your page and you don't have materials, you need to go, and the process were long. But we are not in that era again. So we need to go beyond the normal mass communication practice. And we need to diversify. We need to multitask, because even the media industry is now multitasking in order to newspapers now is one newspaper, radio, television, and newspaper. So you don't need to say I'm a print journalist any longer, I'm a broadcaster any longer. So everything put together. So we need to diversify in our training so that we will not be left out. Others are coming into the system to even take the job from us. It has always been so. The media theories, most of the media theories were not formulated by journalists, by media people, by psychologists, by sociologists. And so if we are not careful, we may feel that I'm a journalist, but we realize that we have been left on the shelf, while those who were not trained as journalists, but who just learn on the job, who just learn ICTs and stuff like that, have taken over. So the next round or the next level of journalists should be very careful in their training, should be strategic in their training, and not what we were taught.
As we celebrate 37 years of existence of NUJ in Akwa Ibom State, I am very happy, and I want to wish the council a successful tenure and a successful future. And I want to wish journalists who are practicing now a happy future and successful celebration. And I'm happy to have been part of this growth. And I wish all those who are coming before us or after us to do better than what we did.
Report the facts. Don't want to curry unnecessary favor, and by so doing go to destroy somebody, or go to blackmail, or you go to falsify facts. I believe that every good act attracts good reward.
I think we must also begin to understand that we need deep training, we need deep understanding. We need to also go through the processes of knowledge seeking and knowledge acquisition. So I have a problem where someone gets up and within 2-3 years he has become from a reporter to an editor to a publisher to another and so on. I keep asking myself how. Because it also requires some time, it requires training, it requires knowledge, it requires experience, and so on. So I believe that as journalists we should continue to equip ourselves, grow knowledge, and so on, and then adapt to current trends in modern broadcasting, journalism, newspapering, and all of that. And in the days of social media and content creation, and including personalized journalism, podcasts, and all of that, people must begin to look at these things and look at them in the perspective that will allow the society to grow. Let the breaking news not break the society.
It's been a long journey, but very short time. What that informed me and even you is that journalism is life. It's a place to be, it's a profession to be.
Yeah, I think there are some sharp practices that I am against as far as journalism practice is concerned. The quest for small tips. The axiom that he who pays the piper dictates the tune is very, very real. So those are the kind of things that make people to look down on journalists as touts. And truly, most of those people who do those things are not professional journalists. They are actually those who came there to hustle, who see that profession as a means of hustling. And that's why I support the quest by the union leaders to eradicate quackery and touting from the profession. I also support the fact that there is an established committee for disciplinary measures on journalists who were found to err. And that's why we should also advertise and make the public to know that those who come hounding them with instruments of blackmail in the name of journalism should be reported to the union for disciplinary measures to be carried out and enforced, no matter whose ox is God.
It's a privilege that most of us were not there when the union started. Some of us, we just joined the bus along the road. And it is necessary for us to look at what was the vision and the expectation of the founding fathers, then see if we have kept to that, and then see if there's any improvement we could add to whatever they had, envisaged at the time. It is one thing to start a vision, but it's another thing to maintain that vision and even get it more improved. So my message for the union, members of the union at this point is, let us have a time, a retrospective view of what journalism has been in Akwa Ibom, and then see how far we can improve ourselves, Then for journalists, like I'd already said, ensure that in all you do, passion is the watchword for you. Once you have passion, you'll be able to keep to the ethics of the profession. You'll be able to be objective. You will certainly not be tossed around left, right, and center as a journalist. It's not proper to be tossed around. You have to ensure you are doing your job because you're a watchdog of the society. The society is looking up to you. If you disappoint them just to please others, it will not be a good thing. So you have to ensure that passion is your watchword. And then my goodwill message to the union and the leadership of the union at 37 is that we've gone this far. Thank you that you've not disappointed Akwa Ibom State, because every other state, I'm happy that a few days ago we had an engagement with the Seplat Energy. Remember when the Seplat management explicitly said that Akwa Ibom is the best union as far as journalism is concerned that he has seen in Nigeria. That's because we are well organized, we are absolutely on track, we are doing what we ought to do as member of the 40 State of the Ring. So I want us to keep to, I'm calling on the current administration to keep to that vision and ensure that they maintain the tempo so that our founding fathers will always be proud. And the society will be happy that we are doing what is expected of journalists as obtained anywhere in the world.
When you talk about NUJ, when you talk about journalism, that's the fourth estate of the realm. Are we on that realm today? The answer is yes, the answer is no. We want to ensure that as at the time we are done with our service to the union, our members have reclaimed that right spot as members of the fourth estate of the realm.
NUJ Akwa Ibom State Council, 37 years of purpose, passion, and progress.